So, I hope you all are having a beautiful morning. And today we are going to be talking about one of the modules or one of the questions of PTE, namely the fill in the blanks question of PTE. Okay, so PTE go listening go fill in the blanks. So that's going to be our agenda for today. And we are going to cover the blanks, how many questions are asked, and stuff like that. So, I hope you guys are ready to learn a few things. Good morning, Mr. Seva. Good to see you again. So here we go. Let's get started. So fill in the blanks. Whenever we talk about fill in the blanks, couple of things come to mind. अलिकति IELTS र PT को comparative analysis हेर्ने हो भने fill in the blanks of IELTS and fill in the blanks of PT is slightly different. PT को blanks मा just the missing word is to be understood and noted down. So त्यो एउटा simple activity I would say is required in your blanks of listening test. So fill in the blanks मा कस्तो टाइपको क्वेसन्सहरु चाहिँ बढी सोध्छ त पिटी मा भन्दाखेरि अलिकति हेभी वर्ड भनेर we don't need to memorize big words तर अलिकति टेल्ड वर्ड्सहरु टेल्ड वर्ड्स भन्नाले तपाईहरुलाई जस्तो वर्ड्स लाइक गभर्नेन्स is a very used word in PTE. So त्यस्तै गरेर for example simultaneously sounds easy, feels easy, तर यो गर्दाखेरि it's not going to be that easy because of one simple fact. के हो त भन्दा तपाईलाई त्यो वर्डले चाहिँ स्पेलिङमा कन्फ्युजन गराउँछ. So PTE को technique के हो? Students generally get confused with the spellings. So that's the key to keep in mind when we discuss about fill in the blanks for PTE listening test. So PTE ko fill in the blanks le what's the value it's going to get, how many questions are we going to get. So let's try to understand that. Alfa PTE ko software use गर्नुस्, it's very one of the nice platforms to practice. So यसमा तपाईहरुले if you go to the home page तलपट्टि एउटा marking भन्ने text छ, यो menu छ. So if you click on the marking, you're going to see all the questions of PT. 20 questions are here. अब यसमा multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, everything is there. So since we are talking about listening blank space ले कहाँ कति points contribute गर्छ, let's try to figure that out, okay? So fill in the blanks of listening is this. I can see over here, right? So the number of questions that we get in average, दुईटादेखि तीनटा, and points that we get is 15 for our listening. So listening को लागि हामीलाई यसले 9 marks दिन्छ in general 9 to 10 points. र at the same time writing मा पनि तपाईलाई 6-7 marks चाहिँ यसले दिन्छ. So writing a marks also is received from fill in the blanks of listening because you'll be typing the spelling of that word. Okay, so एउटा word मात्रै लेख्ने हो हामीले, it's just one word, no big deal. अनि listening मा 9 points, writing मा 6 points गरेर in general 15 points out of the whole total of PTE, and the number of questions we get is generally 2 to 3. Okay, so with that in mind, let's see what we can get from fill in the blanks. यसमा तपाईहरुलाई transcript दिएको हुन्छ audio को, so I want you to understand that first. Audio को transcript भनेको तपाईले सुन्ने audio मा it's going to be from the very first word to the very last word. So यसमा तपाईले meaning मा खासै गइराख्न जरुरी छैन. It's just about identifying that word and writing it down quickly. So for me, I always type on the laptop itself or desktop. For some students, it's slightly difficult to type किनकि typing speed slow होला. त्यो भएर copy मा त्यो erasable notepad that you get on the exam day, त्यसमा तपाईहरुले आनन्दसितले पहिला लेख्ने अनि त्यसपछि टाइप गर्ने. त्यो गर्दा पनि it's like double checking your spelling as well, and at the same time तपाईलाई टाइप छिटो गर्ने हतार हुँदैन. Okay, so have that in mind. अब listening को fill in the blanks मा again let me repeat it, the text that you see on the screen right here is the transcript of the audio that you will listen. ट्रान्सक्रिप्ट भनेको के हो त भन्दा त्यो अडियोलाई वर्ड बाई वर्ड नै यहाँ लेखेर दिएको छ हामीलाई. अब होल थिङ इज ओभर देयर एक्सेप्ट दिज 5 वर्ड्स, राइट? सो हाम्रो काम भनेको के हो, त्यो 5वटा वर्ड आइडेन्टिफाई गर्ने अनि त्यो 5वटा वर्डलाई चाहिँ हामीले त्यो ब्ल्याङ्क स्पेसमा गएर लेख्ने. सो द्याट्स द जब वी निड टु डु. ओके, सो आई होप द्याट्स क्लियर. सो लेट्स प्र्याक्टिस अ फ्यु क्वेसन्स. म तपाईँहरूलाई अडियो
The World Health
So audio, so we'll just put the second version. Okay, so keep an eye on the screen and try to get the words.
Aid agencies are racing to shore up.
Let's start.
Heavy rains are expected to fall in a few weeks. Aid agencies are racing to shore up flimsy shelters and stabilize shaky terrain before the monsoon season begins. The UN Refugee Agency says the work ahead is monumental, but preparations are off to a better start this year than last. Aid agencies last year had to deal with a massive influx of more than 740,000 Rohingya refugees fleeing violence and persecution in Myanmar. They arrived over a period of a few months, straining local resources and requiring vast amounts of humanitarian assistance.
Okay, so as you could see, most of the words were long words. तपाईँलाई छोटो सानो वर्ड जस्तो short, long, tail, head त्यस्तो खालको word दिँदैन अलिकति lengthy wordsहरू दिन्छ. So the first blank was shelters and stabilize. So again stabilize is a simple word. हामीले सुनिरहेको word हो तर यसको स्पेलिङमा कन्फ्युजन हुनु स्वाभाविक हो. अब नेक्स्ट वर्ड मोन्युमेन्टल मोन्युमेन्टल भनेको भेरी बिग ठुलो कन्टेक्स्टमा आयो देन वी हेभ रेफ्युजिज सो वी अल नो द रेफ्युजिज देन रिक्वायरिङ अब रिक्वायर मात्रै भनेको भए वुड हेभ बिन इजियर तर सिन्स द वर्ड हेज आइएनजी एट दि एन्ड स्टुडेन्ट्स डु गेट कन्फ्युज अ लट सो आइएनजी रिक्वायरिङ अनि ह्युम्यानिटेरियनको स्पेलिङ इट्स क्वाइट कन्फ्युजिङ ह्युम्यानिटेरियन सो यसलाई मैले एज इट इज एज आई टाइप हेऱ्यो भने yes, again, a problem that I wanted to highlight. Stabilize sounds BA, तर spelling के हुन्छ BILIZE. So this is exactly what is going to happen on the exam day. हामीले सुनिरहेको word हुन्छ, we feel quite comfortable with the word, तर at the same time we have to be very careful about the spelling. किन भन्दा without getting the spelling right, we are not going to get points. That's for sure. So listening ko blank space ma the key is your spelling. Okay, so spelling is everything. You have to make sure that you get the spellings correct. Okay, so I have a question from Mr. Sewa. So Prakashiko answers are humanitarian, yes. Very good. Stabilize. Prakasi also made the same mistake like I did. BILIZE. Okay, so stabilize ka spelling galat bhayo. So Sevajiko question, let me see what he's saying. So PTE Center कहिले इस्टाब्लिस हुन्छ मेरो डेट चाहिँ अप्रिल 24 को मा छ अनि मलाई आफ्नो डेट रिसेड्युल गर्नु छ इन अप्रिलको फर्स्ट week you mean I'm sure. Yes, Sevaji, I think they are going to open up a new exam center this week. So keep looking at the website of PTE and then you can reschedule. If you want, you can send us your login details, username र पासवर्ड पठाइदिनु हामीले रिसेड्युल गरेर फर्स्ट विकमा कुन डेट चाहिएको हो त्यो पठाइदिनु we can also try that for you, okay? So I think they will definitely open it within this week. Last week खोल्नुपर्ने थियो अलिकति टेक्निकल इस्युज भएर खोल्न सकेन. So यो week चाहिँ I'm pretty sure they will open up and just make sure you get it proper done in time. All right, so let's move on to the second one then. Okay, so second one jump. So second question jump. So let's go one more round. So सबैजनाले please and try to write the answers in the comment, okay?
In an effort to encourage the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea, to dismantle its nuclear weapons program, the United Nations Security Council last year passed Resolution 2375, which imposes sanctions on North Korea. The United States is determined to strictly implement this resolution. Members of the UN Security Council, and by extension all UN member states, have unanimously agreed to fully enforce sanctions on North Korea, and we expect them to continue to honor those commitments, said Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
There we go. Okay. Again, pretty lengthy words, tailed words, so most of them had a little bit of tail. So got to be careful, okay? So we have to be very cautious about these kind of words. All right, so be careful, be watchful, and make sure that we get it right properly. Okay, so Isma, obviously, let's have a look at the spellings. Dismantle looks good. Sanctions looks good. Determined looks good. Unanimously, okay, that's a mess. M-O-U-S-L-Y, unanimously. Commitments. Again, if you don't pay attention to the spellings, you're going to get it wrong. So that's pretty straightforward and simple. तपाईको एकदमै ठुलो प्रायोरिटी भनेको एकदमै ठुलो प्रायोरिटी भनेको spelling. Okay, so yeah, I have a few questions on the comments. Let me have a look. Alright, so GK राणाजीले सोध्नु भएको रहेछ सर नेगेटिभ मार्किङ हुन्छ कि हुँदैन यदि रङ आन्सर दियो भने यस मिस्टर राणा नो नेगेटिभ मार्किङ एट अल पिटिईको ब्ल्याङ्क्समा नेगेटिभ मार्किङ हुँदैन पिटिईमा 3 क्वेसन्स ह्याभ नेगेटिभ मार्किङ सो त्यो तिनवटा क्वेसन भनेको लेट मी पुट इट डाउन अन माई कमेन्ट्स सो त्यो तिनवटा क्वेसन भनेको मल्टिपल चोइस क्वेसन्स विथ मल्टिपल आन्सर्स इन यो रिडिङ एन्ड लिसनिङ MCQ MA of reading and listening. So duita yo bhayo. And then also you have highlight incorrect words. So यति क्वेसनमा चाहिँ negative marking हुन्छ. Apart from that अरु कुनैमा पनि हुँदैन. Okay, so just make sure you understand that. Alright, so hope that's clear to Mr. Rana. Okay, Mr. Rana, so negative marking त्यो तिनवटा क्वेसनमा हुन्छ. Alright, so what else? Any other questions over here? म चाहिँ fully prepared छु sir and this time I'm ready to go for the exam. Okay, Mr. Seva, so like I said, if you want you can leave your username and password with me and then as soon as the date's open I can reschedule it for you. There should not be a problem. All right, so that pretty much answers the questions of our friends Seva and Mr. Rana over there. So any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment box. So मैले जुमको सट्टामा फेसबुकमै क्लास गरिरहेको रिजन चाहिँ के भन्दा आई वान्ट इट ओपन फर एभ्रिबडी कुनै पनि क्वेसन्स छ तपाईँहरूलाई फर इक्जाम्पल पिटीको बारेमा होला कन्फ्युजन इक्जाम डेट्सको बारेमा होला नयाँ सेन्टर खोल्छ भन्छ कसैको स्पिकिङमा थोरै मार्क्स आयो pitch मिलेन भन्छ so I just want it to be a nice and open platform where I spend about 30 to 40 minutes talking to students who need a little bit of help. Okay, just feel free and you can shoot any. Kishore Itani, Mr. Kishore Itani is asking me something. So your question. Okay, so your question was PTE class कसरी लिने हो sir? So PTE class, this is our PTE class going on. So हामीले चाहिँ क्लासमा के गर्छौँ भन्दा I generally cover one question in a day. So 20वटा टाइपको क्वेसन हुन्छ पिटीमा इन टोटल. सो 20वटा भिडियो तपाईँले हेर्नुभयो 20वटा अनलाइन क्लास बस्नुभयो भने यो जब इज डन सकिहाल्यो. ओके सो त्यसरी नै जोइन गर्दा हुन्छ तर आई स्टिल रेकमेन्ड टेकिङ फिजिकल क्लासेस काठमाडौँमै हुनुहुन्छ भने पुतली सडकमा छ हाम्रो अफिस कम फर फिजिकल क्लासेस वी हेभ क्लासेस एट 8 10 and 12 AM. Physical classes भन्नुको रिजन के हो भन्दा तपाईँले प्र्याक्टिस गर्नु जरुरी छ. पिटिई इज नट जस्ट अबाउट लर्निङ. तपाईँले थ्योरिटिकल्ली पढेर ओके लिसनिङ आज हामीले हेऱ्यौँ सो इट डजन्ट मेक स्योर द्याट यु आर रेडी फर द एक्जाम. त्यसको लागि प्र्याक्टिस गर्नु पऱ्यो जस्तो लिसनिङको हामीले युज गर्ने सफ्टवेयर द्याट इज अल्फा पिटी यस्तो क्वेसन्सहरू 200वटा छ. आई इन्करेज स्टुडेन्ट्स टु प्र्याक्टिस अल अफ देम किनकि एक्जाममा रिपिट हुने चान्सेस पनि हाई छ. सो त्यो भएर एज फार एज पोसिबल फिजिकल क्लासेस गर्नु. Just our fees is just 5,000, so it's very affordable cost. 10,000 rupees of fees, but for all the students applying for Australia, 5,000 matrai rakha cha hamle 50% discount छ. So take advantage of that. किनकि तपाईलाई त्यही fees मा you also get access to that software. त्यो सफ्टवेयरको तपाईँलाई 2 मन्थ्सको सब्सक्रिप्सन पनि दिन्छौँ हामीले, पर्सनल एकाउन्ट हुन्छ, एन्ड यु क्यान इजिली प्र्याक्टिस मोर देन 10,000 क्वेसन्स. PTE भनेकै प्र्याक्टिस हो. इफ यु प्र्याक्टिस भेरी हार्ड, इफ यु प्र्याक्टिस रेगुलरली, you can get the scores very easily. तर if you don't practice enough, तपाईँसँग सफ्टवेयर छैन, तपाईँसँग प्र्याक्टिस गर्ने प्लेटफर्म छैन भने it's going to be extremely tough to get the marks. So त्यो भएको भएर चाहिँ just make sure that we have enough time to practice. त्यो चाहिँ important कुरा भयो है. So with that in mind, just make sure that if you have any questions, alright, feel free to put them in the comment. I'll come back to the comment section in a bit. So I'm going to do a couple of more blanks. So let's start again. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, get ready, people.
The United States and South Korea announced late Saturday the two countries will end annual large-scale joint military exercises as part of diplomatic efforts to achieve complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. In a statement, the Pentagon said Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan and South Korea's Minister of National Defense, in a phone call Saturday, decided to end the Key Resolve and Full Eagle series of exercises. The decision comes 3 days after a summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam that ended without an agreement to resolve the North Korean nuclear crisis. Seoul's defense ministry released a similar statement, according to the Associated Press.
Okay, people, so there were the words that were used. So again, transcript from the US and South Korea देखि associated to the Associated Press सम्म exactly as it is नै audio सुन्छौँ हामीले, and our job is just to pick those missing words, nothing else. एकदमै simple कुरा छ. So let's keep looking. Announced, ANNOUNCED, sounds good. Denuclearization, wow, that's a mess. Denuclearization. So that should be the spelling. And त्यसपछि exercises, sounds good. Statement, sounds good. So that's how you should be doing. Again, a tailed word, exercises, plural बनाएर दियो. Statement is a very standard word. तर पनि A र E मा confuse हुने chances छ. Announced, again, ED छ last मा. So just make sure that you know what to expect on the exam day. छोटो छोटो word भन्दा पनि अलिकति पुच्छर लागेको word भन्छु म as a joke, as a fun. So you have to be going for those kind of words. र त्यस्तो खालको words सुन्नको लागि आफूले आफूलाई train गर्नु पर्यो तपाईहरुले. It's all about training yourself, getting yourself prepared for the exam. र exam day मा गएर don't get shocks. अचम्म पर्नु पर्ने के पनि छैन. It's exactly the same. जस्तो हामीले practice गर्छौं त्यस्तै क्वेशन्सहरु आउने हो. Nothing special, nothing new. Okay? All right. 3 out of 4 from Star Scorpio. Well done. Mr. Rana has one more question. Let's have a look. So AP Uni र Alpha PTE मा कतिको डिफरेन्स छ नि? Read aloud मा AP Uni बाट गर्दा मार्क्स धेरै आउँदैन, but Alpha बाट सेम क्वेशन गर्दा मार्क्स धेरै आउँछ. Okay, Mr. Rana. So keep in mind, speaking ko marking from all the practice platform is not as good as Pearson, right? Listening, reading, writing, मजाले गर्छ दुईटै प्लेटफर्मले AP Uni र Alpha PTE मा. तर when it comes to speaking, they tend to give slightly more marks than what students get on the exam day. AP Uni को developersहरु, they are from China. So अलिकति Chinese accent focused भएर बनाएको सफ्टवेयर भएको भएर you find it slightly difficult to get marks on AP Uni. Alpha PTE मा चाहिँ it's developed in Australia. So त्यो भएर अलिकति इजी छ मार्क्स ल्याउनलाई कम्प्यारेटिभली. तर पनि त्यो दुईटैको प्र्याक्टिस गर्दाखेरि तपाईले एउटा कुरा दिमागमा सधैँ के राख्नु, fluency is not what you should be looking at all the time. तपाईले हेर्नुपर्ने कुरा भनेको कन्टेन्ट र प्रोनाउन्सिएसन हो. स्पिकिङ प्र्याक्टिस गर्दा तपाईको कन्टेन्ट प्रोनाउन्सिएसन चाहिँ क्लियर हुनु पर्यो. तपाईको जस्तो बुक्स, एक्स्ट्राअर्डिनरी यस्तो खालको वर्ड्सहरु चाहिँ ठ्याक्क त्यो एआई ले डिटेक्ट गर्छ कि गर्दैन. Keep an eye on that. Fluency is not something you should be running after. Fluency chase गर्ने काम नगर्नु, किनकि most of the students who chase fluency end up spoiling the exam. PTE मा naturally बोल्ने हो हामीले, एकदम इजी गोइङ अप्रोचमा टेक इट भेरी इजी नथिङ टु रस हतार गर्नु पर्दैन just make sure that you do it in a nice and natural manner. Okay? Pauses are really new whenever there is a comma and a full stop. Read aloud तपाईँको दिमागमा if you have good English 20 seconds, if you have average English 25-26 seconds, त्यो टार्गेट राख्नुहोस् तपाईँले 15 सेकेन्डमा सिद्धाउँछु भनेर दौडिने काम गर्दै नगर्नु द्याट्स अ स्टुपिड आइडिया अनि 40 सेकेन्ड्स लगायो भने once again you are being too slow. So 20 to 25 seconds. So that's kind of a timeline that you can keep in mind, okay? So Mr. Ayush is asking something else. Ani sir, physical class लिन आउँदा हामीले कुन चाहिँ एपको सब्सक्रिप्सन पाउने हो र एपयुनी or Alpha PT? For our students, हामीले यहाँ E-Zone-मा every student gets a subscription to Alpha PT. र what we do with the students is त्यहाँ Alpha PT-मा 1700 repeat sentence questions छ. That is where I keep focusing, that is what I keep shouting all the time. PTE भनेकै तपाईँको रिपिट सेन्टेन्स हो इफ यु क्यान गेट द रिपिट सेन्टेन्स डन तपाईँको आधी काम त्यहीँ सिद्धिहाल्यो किनकि रिपिट सेन्टेन्स कभर्स यो राइट फ्रम डिक्टेसन र तपाईँको लिसनिङ ह्याबिट्स पनि इम्प्रुभ हुन्छ रिपिट सेन्टेन्स गर्ने बित्तिकै सो डु अल 1700 क्वेसन्स अफ द रिपिट सेन्टेन्स मोड्युल अफ पिटी वन्स यु डु द्याट तपाईँ पिटीको एक्सपर्ट भइहाल्छ Okay, so a very simple equation PTE equals to repeat sentence. Right from dictation पनि पर्दैन किन भन्दाखेरि once you are able to do repeat sentence right from dictation, I'm pretty sure तपाईँले गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. Okay, so listening go त्यो question that we discussed just now about blanks. I hope you guys are clear. So आजको क्लास अलि छोटै गरौँ किन भन्दा it's a very easy question. Practice गर्नुहोस्, keep working hard. And if you have any more questions, you can always text me or WhatsApp. So best way to reach me is WhatsApp किनकि I generally don't answer the phones. Okay, so WhatsApp गर्नुहोस् मेरो नम्बर मैले त्यहाँ छोडिदिएको छु. So any questions about PT, about your studies, about applying for Australia, about physical classes, I'm very happy to answer your questions. Just make sure that you text me on WhatsApp. Okay, so have a good day to all of you and भोलि पनि फेरि भेटौँ. श्रेष्ठ सपनाजीले okay, she has one question. Let me just quickly answer before I leave. सर राइट फ्रम डिक्टेसनमा कतैवटा अल्टरनेटिभ वर्ड लेख्न पाउँछ अनि अल्टरनेटिभ लेख्यो भने चाहिँ राइटिङमा मार्क्स काट्छ कि काट्दैन ओके सपनाजी भेरी इन्ट्रेस्टिङ क्वेसन अब कतिवटा डोन्ट बी अब्सेस्ड फर्स्ट कुरा तपाईँलाई कन्फ्युजन भयो भने नै दुईवटा लेख्ने हो इफ यु डोन्ट निड टु राइट एभ्रिथिङ जस्तो तपाईँले अघि मलाई पठाएको क्वेसनलाई लेट्स ह्याभ अ लुक सर राइट अब स्टुडेन्ट्सहरूले यस्तो गरेको देख्छु क्या मैले फ्रम dictations questions यति विधि गर्नु पर्दैन नि त आई होप यु गेट माई पोइन्ट सपनाजी यस सो इफ यु ओभर डु इट देयर इज अ चान्स सम स्कोर्स विल बी रिड्युस फ्रम यर राइटिङ तर अब अ फ्यु वर्ड्स हियर एन्ड देयर डजन्ट हर्ट यु एट अल सो कन्फ्युजन भएको ठाउँमा डेफिनेटली राइट इट तर अहिले स्टुडेन्टहरूले के गर्न थालेछ बानी बिग्रेर भन्दा यु स्टार्ट राइटिङ प्लुरल एन्ड सिङ्गुलर इडी एन्ड नन इडी फर अल द वर्ड्स त्यो गर्ने होइन ओके सो जस्ट मेक स्योर यु स्टे प्रोफेसनल एउटा राम्रो सेन्टेन्स लेख्ने हो कन्फ्युजन भएको वर्ड्सहरूलाई विदाउट हेजिटेसन दुईचोटि लेख्नुहोस् नो प्रब्लम तर त्यो लेख्न पायो भन्दैमा सबै मिसयुजै गर्छु भन्ने एटिट्युड नराख्नुहोस् किनकि पियर्सनको एआई इज नट द्याट स्टुपिड ओके सो राइट फ्रम डिक्टेसन गिभ्स यु मार्क्स फर राइटिङ त्यसमा प्रपर सेन्टेन्स चाहिन्छ सो त्यो भएर कपाल अफ वर्ड्स 3टा 4वटासम्म बढी होस् आई डोन्ट माइन्ड तर डोन्ट गिभ उसले मलाई 12वटा वर्डको सेन्टेन्स दिएछ भने मैले 24वटा लेख्न थालेर त भएन सो 12वटा वर्डको सेन्टेन्स दिएछ भने गो फर अबाउट 15-16 वर्ड्स 3टा 4वटा रिपिट गर्नुहोस् आई रियली डोन्ट माइन्ड द्याट ओके Alright, so that answers the question of our friend over here, Sapnaji. So hope you got the answer. And tomorrow again we'll be back. So join me again tomorrow, people. Have a lovely day and see you very soon.